How's it going, everybody? Thank you for watching this video. And just a quick note, if you guys are subscribed, or if you guys haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe. And when you do, click this little bell here on my channel and get all notifications sent to you from my channel. That way you guys can be updated with all of my channel updates and uploads and whatever else I do on here. Thanks for watching. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the source code. My name is Deshawn, and today I'm going to be going over how to create your very own permissions plugin. And it's actually pretty easy if you want something relatively simple, just something that will go ahead and place permissions when a player joins and remove them when the player leaves. We're going to be doing it inside of a hash map, which is how all permissions plugins work. There's only one way you can really kind of do this. There are ways you can do it better. This is just sort of the default Bukkit way and how they sort of explain it, but they didn't really do a super great job at. They only explained how to set permission, but not how to really get them and set them. So we already have a config here set up, and we have this one permission here. So we have groups, members, and then we have default true permissions. This default true doesn't really do anything for us right now, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and remove that. So we just have our groups, members, our first group. We have our permissions, which is tutorial.block break. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is let's just go ahead and do at event handler, and we're just going to say public void break block break event. And once again, all of the code will be available for you guys on GitHub, so if you guys are having some trouble, go over there and check it out, and you guys will be able to sort of figure out what you're doing wrong. So okay, so we're doing a block break here, and we're just going to say if, so we're going to say if player dot has permission tutorial block break event dot set cancelled true. So we're going to say if player does not have that, and then we're just going to say player dot send message check color dot red, you do not have permission to do that. Okay, so let's just go ahead and export this one right here, and let's just do a reload real quick, and let's just log out, log back in. And you can see there that I do not have permission to do this because we are now searching for a permission that is not set anywheres. So what we need to do is we need to go ahead and create basically a way for us to find that. So we're just going to go ahead and say public hash map, and it's going to be UUID and permission, if I can spell, attachment, and let's just go ahead and import that. Import this, and let's just go ahead and say player permissions, and this is just going to equal a new hash map. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to go ahead and basically create a setup method that sets up our player. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and say public void setup player. I guess we should make this more setup permissions. And then what we're going to do in here is we're just going to say permission attachment equals this dot player permissions. Oh, I'm sorry. Not this. That's for the next part. Equals player dot add attachment, and it's going to be this being the plugin. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and say this dot player permissions dot put player dot get unique ID and then attachment, because that's what we made it as. And then we're just going to go ahead and run permissions setter, which is just going to take a player dot get unique. It's just going to take a unique ID. And obviously we do not have this method set up yet, so we're just going to go ahead and create this method real quick. Super easy. We're just going to change that to UUID. So first thing we have to do inside of here is we have to go ahead and obviously get the permission attachment for the player, and this is just going to be as simple as permission attachment equals this dot player permissions dot get UUID, since it's just going to be using the UUID that we're getting from the permissions or the setup permissions, and this is going to be the permission setter. And sorry if I'm talking really fast. I feel like I'm talking extremely fast for this tutorial. So the next thing we're going to do is we have to loop through the config and the members and permissions. So what we need to do is we need to go ahead and say for string groups is going to be this dot get config dot get configuration section, and we want groups, and it's going to be dot get keys false. And now we're going to loop through all of the groups that we have in our config. So we could have 100 groups through here. It doesn't matter. It's going to find every single one of these bad boys here at the second level. Then what we have to do is we want to loop through all of the permissions for each one of those groups. We're going to say for string permissions, and this is going to be another config section. So the configuration section, and let's just go ahead and do that quick. And this one is going to be, or sorry, not a configuration section. This one is going to be a string list. So get string list, and it's going to be groups dot plus groups, because this up here is just returning all of these second levels here. So it's just going to return member. It's not going to return groups.member. So we have to go ahead and do this way. And then we want permissions. So this is going to return all of our permissions now. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and say attachment dot set permissions true. So what we can simply do now is in our on event handler public void join player join event equals, and we're just gonna set up these really quick because this is pretty easy. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna go ahead and simply do setup permissions player. So whenever the player joins the server, it's going to set their permission attachment, and then it's going to put them inside of a hash map, and then it's going to run permission setter. You could really put these two together. It doesn't particularly matter. I sort of like separating it so that way if something goes wrong, it's, I don't know. It's just the way I work. I kind of like setting things separately, although you could just simply just go ahead and do it this way, and it would completely work. So we could just change this to player. Obviously we'd have to fix a few things in here, so this would be, well, we wouldn't even need this because well, we want it. So you could do it this way. Like I said, I don't particularly like it that way, but everyone's different, so if you want to do it that way, go ahead. But as far as the GitHub, it's going to be set up how I have it here. Okay, so we didn't set up a method to basically set our config, so we have to do that. So if we go ahead and say this dot get config dot options dot get, well, dot copy defaults true, and then this dot save config. Okay, so now let's export this, and now let's reload, and now let's join. And you can see there that the permission showed up on side there. And let's just do game mode 1 link to Bukkit, just so we can break blocks easier. And now you can see there that we can actually go ahead and break blocks. But I am not op, so we know that it's working. And if I were to go in here, tutorial.IntelliJ, and I were to change this to block breaks, and do a quick reload here, and if I were to log out and log back in, you can see there I do not have permission to do that. And now of course you want to go ahead and create your public void on disable. I cannot spell that for some reason. On disable, and you just want to go ahead and do player permissions dot clear. You want to clear the hash map, and then we want to go ahead and change this to leave and player quit, and then we just want to go ahead and import that, and we just want player permissions dot remove player dot get unique ID, because we want to remove them from the hash map if they leave the server. And if nothing's going to change here, but if we go ahead and export this and reload, you can see there that we don't have permission to do anything because we changed the permission inside of here. If we go ahead and change this back to that, do a reload, you can see there that I can break blocks once again. So this will work with any plugin and any of the plugins permissions. So yeah, like I said, super simple and super easy way to make your own permissions plugin. If you want something that's super lightweight, this is probably the way to do it. You can make it even more lightweight, and you can have it so it doesn't loop through each one of the groups. You can create a separate hash map or a separate array for each group that you have and have it set permissions that way, and then you just go to that array list and get them that way. But that's all I got for you guys today. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a comment, drop a like, and subscribe. And I will see you guys on Tuesday. I will be gone, so I won't be able to reply to many of your comments. I'm going on a small little vacation. So yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching.